sister from another mother. I know I have some brothers from another mother on this call as well, but I get the honor and the privilege of introducing my friend, Mashona Council, who has the honor and privilege of facilitating this last segment around powerful partnerships for summer impact and beyond. We know we can't do this alone, and Mashona brings excellent knowledge and wisdom uh, and power to this conversation. Masonic Council brings over 2 decades of facilitation and strategic consulting experience in education and public sector settings, sector settings, grounded in a deep commitment to equity, healing. Can I say that again? Equity, healing, and systems transformation.
Roderick,
Uh,
I love you. I'm sorry, I love you, but they could drop that in the chat. See, look,
oh,
Imani was already on it. You could drop it in the
hey,
chat, and
they said I
folks
had
can.
to host, so I'm like, all
Folks
right,
can.
I'm gonna read
I
my
love that
reading.
for us. I love that for us. Thank you so very much. And there will be ways to be connected, but I do want to honor folks' time. So thank you for the introduction. I appreciate you deeply. I feel like I don't go to boot camps much, but I think this is the point in the boot camp where you've been working out for a really long time, and they say, okay, we're going to get to the cool down. And the cool down actually ends up being like more stretching. And so we're going to stretch just a little bit more in the way in which NSLA is so intentional about the way they weave these learning experiences together. Exactly what Esteban said at the end of his last segment is what is a perfect alley oop for us. This idea that we don't have to go it alone, this idea that we can go farther together. And so, what I love about this panel that you're going to have an opportunity to meet. So, again, Leslie, if you want to pin them and folks join, is that you'll have an opportunity to really hear from them, not just as like words of advice about what it means to partner, but they really do embody what it is for great partnership. And so I want to thank you all so much as you continue to stretch and lend your ear. All of their contact information will be dropped so that you're able to access it because there's no way we'll be able to go through all of it. One of the things I just want to encourage, as we've heard about all of the information, all of the resources, sometimes you can have an experience like this and then you say, okay, what do I do next? Where do I start? I've got links, I've got resources, I've got, all of these things that I just found out about that I know will benefit my community, that I know will benefit my program. And so one of the things that we want to offer as the dessert of this menu, if you will, is power of partnerships. And so what I love about the folks who are joining today, Phil and Bishop and Danielle, is that they're not only going to give you advisement around what it means to form powerful partnerships, but you all really do embody partnerships. And so it's not a stretch to ask you what you think and how do we make this work when you all do it so well every single day. So Phil, if it's okay, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to ask you if we can combine two things. One, this introduction of who you are, but also when we spoke on yesterday in our prep call, you said, and I quote, that our entire model is completely partnership. So can you begin again by introducing yourself? Tell us about Camp Corral, but then also just what does it mean for your organization to completely embody partnership?
Well, thank you so much, Shauna. And thanks to everybody who do amazing things for kids all summer long. I am the CEO of Camp Corral, and I've been here about 4 years. And in that time, we've doubled our size. Very grateful to be able to do that work. The bulk of my career was not doing this kind of work. Ran a bunch of Fortune 100 companies and sold products around the world and got to see all sorts of different cultures and wonderful people all over the world. And that was cool. But helping children from military families have the best summer of their lives is way better than anything I used to do. And I'm grateful to do that through Camp Corral. We help transform the lives of children who have a parent or guardian who is wounded, ill, or fallen. And we do that through camp advocacy and enrichment programs. So this is our 15th summer, and this summer we will have more than 3,200 children for summer camps at no cost to their families. And we still have opportunities this summer. So if you know somebody who can qualify for our program, we'd love to have you. We don't own any of our camps. So literally, we can't do this without our partners. And we have 22 amazing camp partners across the country, from upstate New York to Gig Harbor, Washington, including Camp Southern Ground. So shout out to Coy Boyles and Zach Brown and Chris Maddy, who runs their program. They're one of our great partners. we couldn't do it without our partner camps, and we're looking for more partner camps.
Can I alley a little bit more and talk about when we talked about the ecosystem of your partnership that makes Camp Corral run? You also talked about just like the sponsorship that supports those efforts. Can you speak to that as well?
Sure. So we raised a lot of money through the course of the year, but one of the things that's really amazing is that our core sponsorship comes from two important organizations. One is an organization called Golden Corral. Yes, that's your favorite buffet restaurant, and they have been supporting us from the very beginning. In fact, they originated the idea of creating this camp. And the second is Disabled American Veterans. So we are very grateful to have not only a great corporate partner, but also a great military veteran partner. And we're humbled by the amount of support that comes from front of staff, waitresses who save their tips to help sponsor kids to camp, and all of the DAV chapters out there across the country who help partner with us.
I so appreciate that. And as I shift to ask and bring Bishop into the conversation, I think one of the things that we continue when we talk about partnership is that sometimes our partners are unlikely folks or folks that are in communities that folks aren't always going into. And so as we can start to really expand ourselves and expand what our definition of partnership, it allows us to increase access to opportunity for a variety of communities. And so thank you. Thank you. As Natalia put in the chat, it is National Awareness Month. It's the month of the military child in April. And so really want to just honor you for the work that you're doing to support our families and our service folks. So Bishop, if I could bring you into the conversation as well with an opportunity to introduce yourself, but really talk about the work of Simple Trader Pro. And I'll say I didn't know much, started talking, and I'm like, ooh, I need to be in that. And so if you could share with us and specifically speak about the partnership that you have with the New Jersey schools, would love to hear more about how partnership shows up in the work that you're doing there.
Hi, everybody. I am Rosetta Bryson, and can you see me? Do you hear me?
I
And I
see and hear
am
you.
the CEO and founder of Simple Trader Pro. And so Simple Trader Pro is a company that does various things, but our most proud moment is that we teach kids how to trade, starting from the first grade all the way to 12th grade and beyond. We can teach anybody to trade as if they're institutional traders. So we partner with people like the New York Stock Exchange, FINRA, the SEC, and we're unicorn because while people talk about financial literacy, we say do something totally different. We own the proprietary right to our own system, so we can teach you how to trade like you are literally institutional stock traders. So we're very proud about that, proud of that. Our motto, and I say this to Phil because I come up in a military family, is leave no man behind. And so the reason that makes us, we bring everybody with us. And so, and to partner with us is to bring everyone. That's the kids that we teach in the schools, that's the parents, and that's the community, starting with the superintendent on down. We partner with superintendents. We did a partnership where we just came in as a summer for the school system in New Jersey. We met with the schools. The kids did so well that Dr. Leone, who's over the school system, brought us into all the principals. We're in every school in New Jersey and every high school. We've got the permission that if you're going to graduate with the financial literacy equivalent, then you have to go through a Simple Trader Pro program. That's how good it is. So it's opened the doors for us to be across the nation in terms of teaching kids how to trade. But this is what we learned. We can't leave anybody behind. The teachers want to learn. The teachers, the principals, the school superintendents, the students, the parents. And so we've brought everyone along in our partners. Within my company, you can't even be hired at Simple Trader Pro without us teaching you how to trade. That's how important it is. I do that because it's life-changing. And while we leave no man behind, the importance of access, the trajectory that it changes. We've partnered with Ernst & Young to do, because we won a STEM award in 2024 and 2025. The company has been listed as an Ernst & Young company up for Entrepreneur of the Year. We do that because we bring everyone. We created our own STEM because there was no STEM for trading, and it blew the doors open for the measurement to see that our STEM scores went up with trading. the reading scores, the tech scores, it's just so amazing that we've grown the company, and we're very glad to bring everybody with us.
I so appreciate that. When we spoke the other day, you had talked about all of these things that you've done, and we're seeing some of the images of the young people at the New York Stock Exchange and the way that you have been able to pull back the curtain and really be able to prioritize the leveling of the financial field. But you were slow to mention that partnership with the entire New Jersey school systems. And so it was so powerful to really think about how you were able to establish that partnership. And so I appreciate you elevating that you were able to start with this leadership.
Yes.
Make sure that you're able to, everyone at every level is able to be involved in the trading system. And so we'll give you please go ahead, add to it. No, go for it.
It's so changed. We had the opportunity to come in unnoticed. The leadership heard about us. We did a 3-day immersive with the leadership. They have changed the structure of how they even work with the financial institutions for the teachers unions. They've changed it. They got money back based on what we taught them. It's just life-changing. So, and that money went directly to the teachers. So we're very glad to be here, honored to be partners with the NSLA.
No, I appreciate you. And I think there's this idea of, when we talk about partnership, the levels in which so many folks are able to be impacted, right? And so that you were able to bring those folks together, and yet that ripple effect is long lasting. Danielle, I want to bring you in. When we sat around the fire pit in Alabama and you were telling me about the work that you did, I was still like, and then I went back and did more research. And so I'm like, oh, you actually sit at the center of partnership with your work with the Children's Trust. And so if you could introduce yourself and then just tell us more about the Children's Trust and how this like public-private partnership works.
Absolutely. Thank you. So interesting. I'm the Associate Director over Community Engagement for the Children's Trust of Miami-Dade. And what's interesting about, our makeup is that we're actually formed through a special taxing district. So we receive all of our funding through property taxes, very similar to our public school system, except we are tasked with all of the out-of-school hours. So everything from all the programming for youth and families around the summertime, as well as after school time. So we fund upwards of 200 nonprofit and for-profit companies that then go out and do the high quality service for our youth in Miami-Dade County. And what's interesting is that the Children's Trust really has positioned itself as more than just a funder, right? So as a government funder, what we've done is we've created this reputation for ourselves in the community where we are known as a convener that will bring people together and collaborate with others, and then leverage the funding, right? Whether that is private family foundations, whether that's federal, state, municipality dollars. So we're willing to figure out ways to leverage all those dollars and form these collaborations where everyone has a piece in that, in a different way, however they can come to the table. So outside of, this grant making space and this convening space, I've talked a little bit about collaboration. So just to give you an idea, my community engagement team, our team sits on over 80 boards, associations, and committees with the idea of just keeping, our ear to the ground to understand the gaps, the needs, the successes around the county, so that then we can bring that back and ensure we're funding within the appropriate needs, right, of the community. So just one example that's kind of fun, our Summer Battle of the Books. We've got everything from private sector, the art sector, U.S. Soccer Foundation, NBA sports teams, and we are able to say, okay, we're going to work on these particular books this summer for K through 5. We're going to create all these activities. We're going to send out tutors to any of our summer camps that want them. And then we're going to have this culminating battle over Zoom where kids across the entire Miami-Dade County come together and they battle for their knowledge. And then, winners get to go on a field trip to a particular place. And this year, because of FIFA and World Cup, where we are all focused on soccer. So they'll be, meeting some of our soccer players, and they'll be doing, lots of fun there. Another example, I think, of a great private-public partnership is what we do around health. So imagine this. Every single child across Miami-Dade County can access free mental and physical health, appointments, exams, during the day at their school day, during their school day, that's completely cost free to them. And that is through leveraging, as I mentioned, the private dollars, the public dollars, and everything in between. So these are just some examples. And I did include a couple links for you all to take a look. We've got one on zero drownings. We've got one on early childhood, thinking about our families that, are just not meeting, they get that $1 raise on their salary, and it pushes them out of that income threshold to receive, high quality childcare support. And so, really leveraging these federal dollars and state dollars to say, okay, we will make up the rest. So we're going to go out and find some private donors, and we're going to take that wait list of children, and we're going to then, cover the cost of those through this private public partnership. So just a couple examples that you can see in some of the links.
Yeah, no, I so appreciate that. And again, I think I started with this notion that you all are the embodiment of powerful partnerships. And so the way that you're talking, and I think the thing that's interesting is that this word partner becomes many things. So in your instance, it became a convener. And Dr. Bryson, when you talk about it, you talk about it as an educator and being able to, to spread the awareness and to get that out and to really teach people a new thing. Phil, if I could come back to you, one of the things that we talked about in the prep call was you said that a strategy of strong partnership is that everyone knows what they do well and they bring that. So can you talk about just some of the things that and how that shows up in the partnerships that you described?
Sure. Mashona, we really do think that there are about 4 foundational elements to powerful partnerships, and you just touched on the most important one. We really seek partners who are who seek to be excellent and focused on what they do best. So when we go evaluate a partner, we're wanting to know this is what we do it really well, and we evaluate that. In our case, they also have to have a love for the power of what camp experience can do for kids. And they also have to have a power for the love of military families. So shout out to those of you on the call who have served or are part of families that serve. Third, we really believe in living up to promises and openly discussing promises when they are problems when they arise, and really clear dialogue, both verbally and written. So partnership is all about doing things collaboratively, and the more that you can talk, particularly when things don't go well, that's really how people become excellent and focused at what they do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Sometimes we don't want to talk about the ugly part of partnership, but it's real, right? To be able to be honest. Dr. Bryson, we also talked about it. We talked about the role of like respect and trust. And I'm curious, for the folks that you partner with, what are some of those shared values, and how does that resonate with the work that you're doing?
A lot of people think that it's just partners picking up, but we pick our partners also. We don't want one and done partners. We want partners who understand that these kids' lives are going to change with everything they put forth. So a lot of people like to throw money, but money can only take you so far. We need partners that, and let me give some statistics. Kids who trade, they make almost 20 times more in life than those who don't trade. They go to college is paid for. Their owners are not renters, lenders are not borrowers, and their life changes. And so we think of a partnership as not just you're coming and giving some money, but no, a partnership is us working with us on the tech in the background, making sure the kids have summer internships through Simple Trader Pro. We have kids that have gone, every kid that's with us during the summer, if at all possible, we try to take you at least one day to the New York Stock Exchange so that you can see what you're doing. It's life changing. We do it digitally, we do it online, and those kind of partnerships are forever in the lives of the kids. So whether it's a Goldman Sachs, a Morgan Stanley, Cantor Fitzgerald, whatever it is, we go in with the thought that it's life changing, and it's securing a future not only for the kids but their kids. And so that's the kind of partner we're looking for. We're not just looking for anybody that's just out to just throw money. We'll take it, but
Sure.
but we're looking for someone who can walk us down the road and see that the kids' lives will change, and that's what they want with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in this moment as I'm listening to each of you share, I'm like, oh, I understand now why you say like, oh, we only have 2 minutes and then we run a little longer because I myself am taking notes of like, oh, I want to hear more. So I do want to just encourage folks who are either watching this later or who are still here to please get the contact information for our panelists because they have such a wealth of knowledge and information and also are in a position to partner and are looking for partners to be able to expand their reach. And so I definitely want to encourage that. So I think I'm going to borrow a note out of Esteban's page from last time and just ask this question that as folks are thinking about establishing kind of strong partnerships, thinking of where they are today, what is it that they can do, right? What is that one sentence, that one push that you would give them as they think about establishing a strong partner, or even being themselves a strong partner in the next week or so? So I'm gonna pause, let us breathe as we think about our response, because 1 minute or one sentence is a lot to ask. But what's the offering that you'd give to folks? Danielle, can I start with you?
Had to get off audio there. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I would say, when thinking about who your partners are, it's really great to have all stakeholders represented around the table. And really making sure that every stakeholder that's there has a role to play so that it truly feels like a collaboration. The more that people feel like they're truly part of those decision making, the more buy-in they're going to have, the better they're going to be on those deliverables. And one thing I would say also when selecting is make sure the stakeholders you bring to the table are willing to commit to the timeline and not push too fast based on, their own deliverables that are needed. Because some collaboratives take a little bit longer to find that power and that momentum.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Phil?
I appreciate the question. And I think what you need to do is to identify a capability that someone does better than you to serve your mission, and then start a dialogue and figure out how to lift them into your mission and lighten your load.
Oh, thank you. And Dr. Bryson, last word.
I agree. First of all, Danielle, I'll be calling you. We're in Fort Lauderdale. We must.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
I love what you all said, but and it comes down to it's bigger than culture, it's bigger than who you know. It is find the people going in the same direction and can give access to places. That place, there's no need to take the will. There's no need to do that. But if they have access to places you do not have access to, then we go there. I was told a long time ago by my grandma, if I may, that there's nothing wrong with being a copycat if you know the cat to copy. And so if you have access over there and I don't, let's partner up so that we can the whole team can gain the access. So thank you.
No, thank you. And thank you to your grandmother. That was a word. I thank you all so much for hanging in, for being the dessert, the stretch of the boot camp. I really appreciate you all. And again, want to encourage folks to please be in touch, download the links, get all the information to grow your programs. And Broderick, I'll turn it back to you.
Actually, Mashona, I think I'm going to jump on now. Guys,
it's all
thank you,
Aaron.
everyone. What a panel. What a few hours we've just had. This is really kind of the end, but we offering for anyone who still wants to talk to others now and debrief for a few more minutes, we have breakout rooms for people to go talk and meet with different NSLA staff. But this has been an amazing summer planning boot camp, free of charge for, so many hundreds upon hundreds of leaders and programs across country sharing expertise and resources. Thank you to Coy Bowles for what he did. Thank you to all our sponsors and all the topics we covered, from program to research to policy to STEM to literacy to career to, we said, partnerships that make it happen. We all share a goal of reaching millions more kids, and we can only do that together. So if you go into the chat, that will formally conclude this summer planning bootcamp. NSLA is here. We'll be following up with all the details and links and research and info for everyone. But if you want to just talk now with some folks that have been on this call ask some questions, share some ideas, you go into the breakout rooms and we'll be able to do